Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today discuss about the topic learning and teaching. அதில் யூனிட் 1ல active learning and the principles. அதில் active learning பார்க்கலாம். Active learning is a form of learning in which teaching strives to involve students in the learning process more directly than in other methods. Why active learning? Attention span of 10-20 minutes. Information engagement 10 to 20 minutes. What is active learning? Active learning. The term active learning was introduced by the English scholar R.W. Revans 1907 to 2003. Active learning is a process whereby students engage in activities such as reading, writing, discussion or problem solving that promote analysis, synthetic and evaluation of class content. Weltman. Active learning is a method of learning in which students are actively or experientially involved in the learning process and where there are different levels of active learning depending on the students' involvement. Nature of active learning. There are diverse range of alternatives for the term active learning, like learning through play, technology based learning, activity based learning, group work, project method, etc. Above the factor behind. These are some significant qualities and characteristic of active learning. Active learning is the opposite of passive learning. It is learner centered, not teacher centered. Requires more than just listening. Active participation of each and every student is a necessary aspect in active learning. Play, exercise, discussion, demonstration. Audio visual, reading, lecture. Passive learning, active learning. 30% of what they see, 50% of what they see and hear, 70% of what they say and write, 90% of they do. Demonstrate, apply, practice. Active learning. Analyze, define, create, evaluate. Principles of active learning. Banner's 1989 suggest principles of active learning. Purposive. The relevance of the task with the students' concerns. Reflective. Students' reflection on the meaning of what is learnt. Negotiation of goals and methods of learning between students and teacher. Critical. Students appreciate different ways and means of learning the content. Complex. Students compare learning tasks with complexities existing in real life and making reflective analysis. Situation driven. The need of the situation is considered in order to establish learning task. Engaged. Real life tasks are reflected in the activities conducted for learning. Active learning, exercise and techniques. Bonwell and Eisen 1991 Suggested learners work collaboratively, discuss materials while role playing, debate, engage in case study, take part in cooperative learning or produce short written exercise, etc. A. Class discussion. A. Think, pair, share. A. Learning cell. A collaborative learning group. A student debate. A reaction to a video. A small group discussion. A class game. Learning by teaching and use of technology. A class discussion may be held in person or in an online environment. Discussion can be conducted with any class size, although it is typically more effective in smaller group settings. This environment allows for instructor guidance of the learning experience. Discussion requires the learners to think critically on the subject matter and use logic to evaluate their and others' opposition. A think, pair, share activity is when learners take a minute to consider the previous lesson, later to discuss it with one or more of their peers, finally to share it with the class as part of a formal discussion. It is during this formal discussion that the instructor should clarify misconception. A learning is an effective way for a pair of students to study and learn together. A learning cell is a process of learning where two students alternate asking and answering questions on commonly read materials. To prepare for the assignment, the students read the assignment and write down questions that they have doubt about the reading. At the next class meeting, the teacher randomly puts students in pairs. The process begins by designating one student from each group to begin by asking one of their questions to the other. Once the two students discuss the questions, the other student asks a question and they alternate accordingly. During this time, the teacher goes from group to group giving feedback and answering questions. This system is also called a student diet. A short written exercise that is often used is the 1-minute paper. This is a good way to review materials and provide feedback. However, a 1-minute paper does not take 1 minute, and for students to concisely summarize, it is suggested that they have at least 10 minutes to work on this exercise. A collaborative learning group is a successful way to learn different material for different classes. It is where you assign students in group of 3 to 6 people and they are given an assignment or task to work on together. This assignment could be either to answer a questions, to present to the entire class, or a project. A student debate is an active way for the students to learn because they allow students the chance to take a position and gather information, to support their view and explain it to others. These debates not only give the student a chance to participate in a fun activity, but it also lets them gain some experience with giving a verbal presentation. M. Kathleen 2010. A small group discussion is also an example of active learning because it allows students to express themselves in the classroom. It is more likely for students to participate in small group discussion than in a normal classroom lecture because they are in a more comfortable setting amongst their peers and from a sheer numbers perspective by dividing the students up more students get opportunities to speak out. A class game is also considered an energetic way to learn because it not only helps the students to review the course material before a big exam, but it helps them to enjoy learning about a topic of active learning because students actively research a topic and prepare the information so that they can teach it to the class. This helps students learn their own topic even better, and sometimes students and learn communicate better with their peers than their teacher. Use of technology, e-learning, online teaching, m-learning, collaborative learning, etc. Advantages of active learning: increase the students' learning interest, motivation, involvement. Allow students to express ideas and opinions. Practice their skills. Improve group work dynamic. Recognize a variety of learning style. Encourage the students' own style learning. Thanks.